So if everything's on the up and up, you'll be able to tell. If everything's not on the up and up, you'll be able to tell. Just have a little patience, bro. It's the holidays. Relax.
I can tell that everything's not on the up and up, and everything is spiraling out of control on all the back channels and all the different threads and all the different anonymous polls and all the different communications I've had with countless amount, like more people than you count on your hands and toes times multiples. There's a lot of people who don't believe it happened, and the longer it takes for it to come out, just looks incredibly more suspect. And if they really didn't have anything to hide, they just hit the upload button. It's not
Yeah,
hard. And hold on, there's only you said 5 hours. That okay, he only had sleep for 5 hours. Okay, he's had a week. He's had the time to come back, take a huge, long, multi-day, binge or sleep session. Wake up, hit the upload button, and it still would have had 5 days to upload. Look, the point that now we're being told that now they're not going to release it until the Globers that went to the trip are going to release their video first is so unbelievably suspect that it just adds to the massive amount of bullet points of all the reasons why it was fake. Now I'm trying to figure out why did they go through extravagant links to fake this video. That's what I'm trying to find out. So if anyone has some, I have my own theories and thoughts on why they would go through such extravagant links to fake this, but it would be interesting to hear everyone else's take on this that I haven't yet heard. So,
but now, what do you think about the data that Jaren already released?
which data specifically are you referring to?
Well, the ones that you have access to right now.
I,
The one that's
yeah.
did you watch it? Did you watch any of it?
No, not the ones that Jen released. I was busy yesterday. I'll get it immediately.
But this is kind of what like Ron Boston Bear was talking about. He's like, hey, there's data that has been released. There's data that is going to be released, and it's like you're jumping to conclusions and you haven't even watched the data that has been released already. Like, it would make sense to say, yo, it would make sense to say, yo, like I went and I supported Jaren. I got the the body cam footage. I seen everything from him going from where he was over to the ice, and here's my conclusion based off of reviewing the data. You're just coming in here and you're just yelling into the mic, and it's like you're ignorant to all the things that have been released already. And we're just saying, look, bro, not only is there more to come, you haven't even watched the stuff that's already out. So don't you see it's intellect? Don't you see it's like it's
if
not.
It came out in the past day, I haven't seen it.
It's been out for more than the past day. He did a live stream a couple days ago talking about it. So it's just like you're not even trying to find the information that you're on the mic screaming about. You're not even trying, because if you actually tried, you will be, if you actually cared that much, you'll be over checking for Wissett, you'll be checking for Jaren, you'll be checking for Liz, you'll be checking for all this stuff, and you would have saw where you could have got the data that has been released already. You haven't even done that. So it's like hard to take you seriously when you haven't even done like the basics, bro. And that's all we're saying. Like, bro, just hold your position until you even get the rest of the information, especially the information that's out now. You may change your mind. You may change your mind and be like, damn, I was tweaking for the last 2 weeks and I didn't even know he had like body cam footage all the way to the ice, and I was calling it fake. Like, I don't know. And then you may watch it and you say, hey, there's more things that I have questions about. But you ain't even do the bare minimum. Bro, you didn't even do the bare minimum yet.
Actually, I did do a tremendous amount this past week over the holidays. I was mapping out where the sun was at exactly in the exact GP location of the sun during Witz's trip. So therefore, when he does release the video, we can follow along the map on like a real flat Earth map of where the sun was at while he was on his trip to then disprove the video footage can't be real because it doesn't match reality. Because on last week's Flat Earth Friday Spaces, you tried to convince everyone that the sun's position above the going across the horizon was apparent, when clearly we know exactly where the GP location is of the sun at every given moment of the day, even during Witz's trip. So to act like I'm not putting in work couldn't be more inaccurate. Okay, I may have been doing.
That's not what I said. I didn't say you're not putting in work.
And then I said you have language and dumb stuff on last Flat Earth Friday that didn't have any merit to it at all. No,
you just misrepresenting what happened, bro. I didn't say you're not putting any work. I said you have a focus on the footage. I asked you about the footage that was out. You have no clue about it. Now, I appreciate you coming into Flat Earth Fridays and asking about it, but to be yelling into your phone about this, that, everything is spooky, and we ask you about what's already out, you haven't even looked at it yet to even be even be able to make an intellectual decision about what's already out. So and then your excuse for not doing that is that you've been busy. And then when we say, yo, look at what they've been through, they ain't even getting no sleep. Wish is sick. He got a whole baby. His daughter's birthday was there. It's the holidays. He's got a lot of things going on. Can he take a rest after, going all the way over there? And you like, nah, that's not good enough. But when we ask you about why you haven't looked at everything that's been out yet, and there's terabytes of more to come, your excuse was that you have been busy. So it's just like a blatant contradiction.
50 videos that were fake. 50. So just because I didn't watch one that you're claiming doesn't mean the other 50 weren't faked. So, like,
Well,
let's
you
be clear
didn't.
about what we're talking about.
Yeah, but you didn't look at the footage from the people that you're questioning.
The
You're
footage that
you're
I've received
questioning
from
you're
being
questioning the you're
fake.
questioning the flat earthers, and I'm just asking you, did you look at the flat earthers footage? And you just told everybody no.
I looked
That's
at
all.
many flat Earth footage, but maybe not the exact one you're referring to. But the ones that I have seen are fake. A lot of people agree.
Okay, well, you're yelling about getting more footage, and there's footage you haven't even seen. So it would just be interesting for you to watch the body cam footage and then pick that apart. Show us why the body cam footage is fraudulent, so that way we can have a conversation about it. Until you do that, bro, you can't cry about more footage, and you didn't even look at the ones that may lead you to some new perspective. Don't you think that's a logical approach?
I think a logical approach is to see the one out of the
No,
50.
don't you think what I said is a logical approach to look at what's there first so that way you can make an intellectually sound decision and then ask for more, not complain about more before seeing what's already out. Don't you
Uh,
think that's logical?
I would say that the most honest intellectual response is to see all of the available information available before I make an educated decision. But based upon the information I've seen so far that was released prior to the one you just mentioned, it was beyond faked. So the credibility is so low at the moment that it's really disheartening that this would be tried on the flat Earth community. It sucks because I feel like the community as a whole has come such a long way for then something to be fake like this on such a level, and then for so much time to be wasted to have discussions about it when it really didn't happen. When that same amount of time could be used towards something much more fruitful, in my own opinion. But we can agree to disagree. I'll look at the other videos and connect with other people in the community and slice it up, put it through a bunch of different softwares, and see how many different ways it's faked. But yeah, we'll we'll,
All right,
we'll do
yeah,
that.
I can appreciate that, but just keep in mind, bro, we wasn't talking about this until you brought it up. So you're
I,
complaining
Hey,
about a topic that you decided to bring up to the community. We
Tigger,
was
let me
talking
chime
about
in.
we were talking about other stuff.
I suppose if I been a while, so I suppose if I want to say something, I have to just cut in.
Oh, hold
I will.
on one second, Axel. I think we had Macaroni was next, and
Mm, well, I'll wait my turn, but my thing was short.
yeah, I mean, Mac, do you mind if Axel jumps in front of you, or do you want to get your stuff off? Because you've been patient.
Well, yeah, my thing was just kind of like what videos he was pertaining to, because I did see like a 24-hour video, and I was just wondering if that was like what they actually released, or if that was, because I know it was just a time lapse, or people waiting for like the full 24-hour video, or like what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people just want everything in totality, and I agree with that. Like, we do want to see everything.
All right, that time lapse they released though, that was from them, right?
Yeah, I think Keegan. They said Keegan uploaded a time lapse. I don't know if the 25-hour one is released, which I don't even know if they're going to be able to do that. But I think if that is the one, they condensed it to 25 minutes or something like that.
All right, yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks, dudes. Happy stationary Saturday, and yeah, keep it up.
Yes, sir. So go ahead, Axel.
Yeah, I don't find Witsit particularly trustworthy. That's fine. You guys can disagree with me. However, I do think that if you're going to accuse a man of taking like a week-long trip to Antarctica, and you're going to say everything that was going on was fake, even for someone that I don't particularly trust, I would like some evidence that it's all fake. And I think it's just a lot of people. It's not the right way to say it. I don't know. I'm just saying I like some evidence it was all fake. I don't think it was all fake. It's fine. But if for me to be like, oh, obviously this was all just nonsense. Yeah, I want some evidence, and I haven't seen any evidence. Just people, posted their pictures and being like, well, why aren't these shadows where I think they should be in a way that doesn't really make that much sense. So I think people are hoping. So I guess what I would say about it.
So I'm gonna say one last thing for this basis for today is that I have a tremendous amount of evidence in my feed of like you can take out the blue out of the background, but the blue of the jacket is still there, and there's a white outline around the people. It's not just the shadows. Looks like Wits is taking a huge vape, and then he blows it out, and then you see smoke. But then the very next breath after that, there is no breath that's visible. So, and then it looked like it kind of hurt his lungs when he took a big vape and kept it in for too long. But anyways, that's a whole other subject. The thing is that there's a whole lot of evidence. There's more pieces of evidence, and you can hand those multiples. You go down the whole feed. There's a whole bunch of people doing this, like taking apart the video like piece by piece and showing all the different things that are wrong with it. It's not just one; it's a bunch of different things, and it's not just shadows. It's more than shadows. But anyways, hope you have a wonderful day. That's all.
There he is smoking the vape, and he takes a pull.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Dave, real quick, and then we'll get to Bowser, Ken, and JT.
Yeah, I won't be long. I'll be quick. First, JT pointed out all the things that Witz has done to say that he's not good for the Flat community is JT did exactly the only thing possible to say, okay, we'll go our separate ways because that's just a crazy point of view. I mean, look what he's done for the community, and we're gonna have to wait to see what he does on Candace. So the other thing is when you said, did you watch all the videos? He goes, I've been busy. This guy's been busy. Does he have 2 little kids? Did he have a birthday? Did he just get home from Antarctica? Was he sick? And did he travel on an airplane with the little kids to go visit his parents for a couple days? Witz, it's not home. Okay, he's been traveling for 4 days.
It's called an upload button. It's literally one.
No. There's not one button. You don't just pull everything off and just go upload raw data. He probably hasn't even pulled it off his camera yet. He was sick. Then he had to pack. He had to celebrate a birthday, and he had to go to his parents or wherever, or her parents, wherever they went. They flew somewhere. The guy he's like taking care of himself and his family, which is number one. So the fact that you don't have time to hit the play button and watch the videos that are out there, it speaks volumes to what you're saying. And the other thing is, you say there's ample evidence. I'll tell you the best evidence I've seen of fakery. This is the best evidence, and it is, I don't even believe it's real. The vape incident. Boy, that looks really weird, but I don't think that's what actually happened. Right? So let's wait to hear it from Witsit. And the reason I say that's the best evidence, because everything beyond that I've seen so far is complete garbage. It's just garbage. Like, I had to go out and film Paige walking across the parking lot to show that her shadow tripled in length walking 7 steps. Okay? It tripled in length, just like McToons did. I had to show that it switched from left side to right side, but it was still parallel with the side of the road. Even though it switched, I had to go out, take my time to make videos to not defend the Globers, to help flat earthers not look stupid, right? So again, wait for the videos to come out. And I actually hadn't heard the strategy that they're waiting for the Globers to put theirs out first because Globers are so dishonest and maybe they'll have something that contradicts or whatever. I actually think that's a good idea, but I don't even know if that's what's really happening. I think
that's just pure speculation. I have no idea.
That is pure speculation. And for people that think the whole thing was fake, there's too much evidence coming out. You're going to have to backtrack. Wait. There's Jaron filmed himself literally from the time he got in his car to the time he got to Antarctica, and that, along with the other cameras. I was talking earlier when I was on about the 360 camera, and people go, the shadows are going the wrong direction. Have you ever looked at a 360 camera on a regular screen? Nothing makes sense, right? It's worse than a fisheye trying to look for curvature. So again, when you say there's ample evidence, where? It's like Glober. It's like Globers. You sound like a Glober. There's ample evidence that things go over the curve, and no one will explain how the sun sets, even though we explain it. So
nothing you said makes me sound like a Glober. And
well, no, you're making arguments like a Glober.
Like, just because I don't believe a flat earther that faked the trip to Antarctica does not mean I believe.
So you keep saying that. So you double down, triple down on that.
No, and the only way to save Witsit is to try to discredit me and make me out to be
I'm not even talking about you at this point.
Earth.
You're tripling down.
You're
tripling down that Austin wasn't there or whatever, that the Hood's fake studio, whatever. But when all of the information comes out, will you come back on here and apologize to everybody?
I'm not going to talk in a speculative manner when all of the...
Oh, you're not going to talk in a speculative manner, but you'll talk about speculatively what happened in Antarctica before you have the... Thanks for having me on. I'm going to jump back off, man. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, that was a good slip.
Yeah,
you've been speculating the whole time, gang.
Yeah, everything he's speculating on is taking our most trustworthy guys that have done the most work more than anybody else and saying that they're not trustworthy and they're lying and they're faking, and you haven't even seen the evidence. All you do is speculate. Okay,
no,
I say we're all on the same team, but you don't appear to be on the same team.
Are you going to come back and apologize? And it's like,
yes, 100%, 1,000%. Let me ask you a question. Well, but you actually think that I'm a shill because I was the guy that was supposed to go on the trip. They begged me to go on the trip. They voted me to go on the trip. I was the guy that was supposed to go on. So when I turned it down, did they go, oh, now we have to go find 2 new shills? Are we all paid off? I mean, Nathan Oakley was supposed to go. He turned it down, right? So are we all shills? Or maybe there was a bigger planned deception, if that's the right word. Maybe there was a bigger planned demonstration or, trick to get people to think the Earth is a globe. We all know it's not a globe, even you, I think. And and you're not looking at the big picture. I was supposed to go. That's how I know that they're not lying, because I was supposed to go. What if I said, yes, I was going to go? Then I would be the one that's lying, right? Thanks, man. I'm going to roll. I'm going to roll.
Every single guest that's ever been on InfoWars is controlled opposition. And
Well,
even
yeah, that's right. So that means
Christ,
so
shut the fuck
I was
up.
actually going to go and take the time, but it's not worth it. You go look at all of the people that have been on InfoWars, and there are so many people that have been on InfoWars that there's no way anyone can say that they're controlled opposition. There's so many people. Alex didn't even know who I was the second time I came on. It was 6 years ago. The first time I was on via Skype, right? And he fought me the whole time we were there. So Eddie Bravo's a controlled opposition. Sam Tripoli's a controlled opposition. I'm controlled opposition, and everyone else that's been on there. You're listening to Russian vids. You got to stop doing that. You got to think for yourself, or something.
Did you say I was listening to Russian vids?
You must be, because he's the first one that ever said that.
Ridiculous. You know how stupid you just sounded.
Yeah. Every single person that's been on InfoWars, how about this? Every single person that's been on Candace Owen is controlled opposition.
I guess you want to find out, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what you're going to say next. And Candace Owen is controlled opposition, and so is everybody else.
Allow video to come out, and then we'll take it to the next step, because you obviously don't have any idea what's happening.
Yeah, I don't. I don't have any idea. All right, guys. Hey, happy Stay Safe Saturday, everybody. See ya.
Hi, Dave. I will say, man, I just really encourage people to just reserve their jumping to conclusions and opinion before all the data comes out. It doesn't really help, though. I will say, before we get to the rest of the hands, Jaren did confirm that there was maybe some vaping going on, and there was like a smoking section or something like that over there. I don't really know. Maybe we'll get some clarity on that. But there's so many other clips where, I mean, you could see like the breath in that environment from different videos, different days. I mean, it's there. So I don't know, man. I think we should just continue to question, but not falsely just speculating and accuse. We could be a little bit more patient. Pride, you want to say something before we get to the rest of it?
Yeah, I just wanted to verify. Ben, you don't believe that a 24-hour sun is possible on a flat Earth, right?
I do not believe that a 24-hour sun is possible on a flat Earth.
Okay,
No.
okay, appreciate it. That's all.
In Antarctica, but in the Arctic, it could be. Now, there's one caveat. If there is a possibility of another sun on Earth, then the collection of the sunlight between the sun that we are used to and then the sun that is south of Antarctica, that collective sunlight could add up to be 4 hours. That's the only caveat. But that would take additional explorations to either disprove or debunk. There has been a crazy amount of videos and photos that I've seen. I've seen so many of like proof of like more than one sun on Earth. And I find it to be fascinating. I'm still doing additional research on it, but it's just one of those things that if someone now Witzig claimed that he did see the sun between him and the firmament facing south, and that sun, the sun that we're all used to, was circulating around or circumnavigating around the Tropic of Capricorn, not where he was claiming it to be. Perhaps he was seeing the other second sun, and that could be the only explanation of how I could come to the idea that he saw a sun for 24 hours. Maybe one of the suns was a different sun, but we would have to see all the proof to then figure out what they're claiming that he saw.
Yeah, that second sun, we just called it the apparent position of the sun. But can you do me a favor? I made some polls that I think you and some other people that agree with you might like. You don't have to repost it, but if you want to spread it so that the other people who share your view can get to vote on it, so we can have a little more of a consensus. Just check them out, vote on them, check them out, send them to your people who also don't agree with the flat Earth 24-hour sun. We want to just get a consensus of what is faked and how people feel. So I did make those polls for this episode, so if you could check those out, that'd be great. But we are gonna get to hands, so hold on.
That actually makes more sense, because there's a lot of people that share the same sentiment that don't believe that do believe the 24-hour is possible. It makes sense so that you have a little bit of hesitancy to accept it, being that you don't believe it's possible. So we're just trying to get like a post on everyone's consensus to see where everyone stand at. So thank you, Proud. That's a great question, and the poll should go crazy.
Yeah,
I think we were
I don't even know if Ben knows it. It's some players on TikTok that believe the 24-hour sun is possible, but they think that they went to Antarctica, but they faked the footage, so that they set the studio up in Antarctica. So it's like a whole bunch of layers to what people believe and don't believe. So we're just trying to figure out what it is to begin with that people are contesting before we even start like trying to help them through it. But yeah.
Well, that's all I have to share for this week. Excited to see the 24-hour video footage, and I will see that other video that you mentioned on Jaranism. I don't really follow him, and if I may be following him, and if I do, I don't really see his feed, so I'll have to go manually check it out. But I appreciate you letting me know, because I can't be the only one that hasn't seen that one particular video. But again, that doesn't discredit the other 50+ ones I've seen from all over everyone's timeline. So
yeah,
I think this one is just
you shared something in the jumbo with the infrared.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. But hope you'll have a great day.
I think the one that he released is just the footage of him making his way to the ice, so people can kind of like watch him go through the motions, just in case they feel like that's not where he went. So I think that would kind of like give people a little bit more context. The only thing is, I don't think he released it free yet. I think that one's behind the paywall for all the people that supported him already. So you have to like kind of find that. So let us know what you think when you find it. I think it was Bowser's back. You had a little bit of feedback, bro. We had to like rotate you. I think it was Bowser, Ken, JT, and Jonathan. I think. I'm not sure, my bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I lost all connection there for a second. But I just want to say as a listener that I kind of empathize with Benaya. I think he might be kind of hard-headed a little bit based on like character. I think there's other reasons to lie too, other than just being a bad person or the Freemasons. We don't know these guys' lives or actually what happened for sure, and that's the problem. Like I said, I was going to bring up the vape pen. That was what we discussed. That was the Dave did a great job of explaining everything away, but the vape pen is kind of suspect to me. And like I said, I disagree. Months causing division, as far as I'm concerned, up to the event, and I feel that Austin did change during the event, and I'll put a seed.
I missed some of what you said, but you said the last thing I heard you say was you share with Benaya's sentiment because of what?
I said I think Jaren was doing nothing but cause divisiveness within the flat Earth community for 8 months leading up to the event. But on the other hand, I felt Austin's been nothing but genuine. But like I said, I feel something's off after he got back. So, but I'm not saying that means it's just there's other reasons to lie than being part of the Freemasons or being a bad person. You know, there's the Earth's flat, and it's a lot of power is behind keeping that a secret. So it doesn't mean that and that's just it. The globe side has more power than we do still. So we don't have to we can be skeptical of the Antarctica event and not defame everybody. Like I said, I said some bad things about Jaron, but that's just based on the way he was talking in his live feeds about people, making the same arguments that everyone's making now. So, and like I said, I guess that's just what I have to say. But I like hearing what Benai has to say. Don't kick him off. I like his map idea of the Bible and everything, whether it's true or not.
We ain't never kicked Ben off.
Yeah, you threatened to. But
I threatened to kick him off. I ain't threatened to kick him off.
I think you guys are getting heated there. I was walking, listening. When you guys were arguing, so I'm going to kick you off. I'm not going to let you back in.
Oh no, so yeah, I do agree because he was interrupting. But yeah, as long as we not interrupting each other, we can hear each other out. It's all good.
Yeah, I have bad habits like that too, so I can empathize with that a little bit. So yeah, like I said, that's just my 2 cents. Like I said, we'll know the truth. I do agree that the videos will come out and we'll be able to scrutinize it.
One other thing before I go for today is, because it was just mentioned with the Bible map, I've done so much tremendous amount of more research on top of when I last talked about it, and to this day, still, no one has ever told me in the Middle East where the Bitter Waters of Mer is at, or Mount Schafer, and I have another list of another 50 plus places you probably will never find. I've done a tremendous amount of research. Look, I would have already mapped to Israel from the Bible in the Middle East if it was real, because I deeply want to know where every single place happened, who was there, for what reason, what were they doing, what happened, where did the battles happen, where did the 33 kings reside that Israel smoked before they built the foundation, before they built the first temple. Like, I'm real deep into it. It's my most passionate research I've ever done. Like, after I heard everything about flat Earth, and I'm always trying to learn what I don't yet already know from within the community, but to keep the intellectual gears going, I'm really into the Bible and mapping it. I'm really into maps in general, but Bible map I find to be of incredible importance. So again, just because I haven't talked about the Bible map doesn't mean I haven't forgotten about it. Matter of fact, I have a tremendous amount of more sauce than I haven't even discussed. I'm always making posts on it too, type of deal. I would never fade the idea that the real biblical Israel is the United States. And also, a lot of speculation too with Trump coming into office, trying to apparently look at conquering or merging Canada and potentially Mexico into the U.S. and becoming just a North American Union. Well, that would be really, really biblical too as well, or to some biblical merit of some degree, just for the sole fact, because of my research, a lot, the majority of things happen in the United States, but there are some things that happen on the border of the U.S. and Canada, and also some things happened in Mexico type of deal, when in the book of Acts, when they were going and spreading the gospel all around the world, and they were on ships, traveling on ships and going to different lands, each land at a time, and I had mapped that all around the whole North America. So what's really happening in life, in my opinion, is truly the foundation of something that could come in the future that could be biblically related of some degree, to a degree I don't yet know, but I do find it incredibly fascinating. But yeah, I mean, that's whole another interesting topic that actually really does directly relate to flat Earth. Because the only way that I even found this out to begin with is by dissecting all of the old flat Earth maps and finding out all the hidden lands that were on them, consistently on them, and then cross-referencing that with all the modern day maps to then find out, well, why were all these lands taken off the modern day maps? For what reason? Only to then find out that it had a biblical reason on a very feasible, very high probable scenario reason on why I believe those lands are actually hidden to begin with. So some people in the flat Earth community say they're hiding flat Earth to hide God. And then the next thing I come to is well, what other things that could be done to hide God? Well, how about all the elite people hide every single biblical location that's ever been told to you? And believe it or not, they could very well be in a whole different area. And maybe nothing happened in the Middle East from the Bible. Maybe absolutely nothing happened, and everything happened over here. So then, when you actually do all the mapping and do the map to each camp, one at a time, not just saying oh, here it is, but no, it has to match within the camps, and then it has to match with the camp that they were at before and after in the book of Numbers, and it's super, super, super relevant to finding out truth. So again, I'm a real truther. I'm not going to let anyone fake a video, or what I and many other people believe, a fake video in Antarctica, and get away with it without speaking up and then making truth be known. If they really did go, then they should have no problem uploading the video.
I got two more questions for you before we move on to Ken. One is there a way for them to settle your concerns through video footage?
Are you talking about just hitting upload button? What are you talking about?
No, just let's say they finally hit the upload button. They release footage. Is there footage that you would accept from them that would say, okay, based on what I see now, I can see that they were over there, or is there no footage at all that they could show you that would have you feel like they were there based off what you've seen already?
Well, I don't know how they're going to save it, but I'm willing to look at it to figure out how they're going to save it, because what we've already found out already is fake. But that doesn't automatically mean that the new video that we're going to see is fake. That would be intellectually dishonest. But
cool, bro. That's what we want to hear from you, bro. We want to make sure that you wasn't delusional. Okay, so yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay, but there's a really high probability it's going to be fake, and we're going to go into it with a high level of scrutiny because of what we've already received. So I just want to be really clear and actually honest.
Yeah, no, fair enough. The last thing I wanted to ask you before we get to Ken is, do you have a favorite map of the flat Earth that you like to reference?
I believe that there are better maps than others, and the best map that I know that is available does have room for it to be better. But I believe it's the best one that we have so far, and that's the
Which one is it? Which one?
I believe it's the Montes map. But the problem with that map is that the land that was done many hundreds of years ago, and the coordinates, the modern day coordinates could be slightly different than what's on that map. But they did a really, really good job for that being a couple hundred-year-old map. Now, what is right about that map is the coordinate system on how they actually plotted the lat and longs on the map. It also includes the hidden lands that are hidden from most modern maps of the 4 lands in the middle of flat Earth. And it also shows the Antarctic land not being one continent or a band of just one continent. It actually shows it being 7 different unique continents, not just one, it's 7 different continents. And that's not really even the real Antarctica, because the lowest land on that map is a modern day coordinate of minus 43 degrees south latitude. Now, that being the case, to get to 90 degrees south latitude, that's another 47 degrees. That's not of land. That's not even referenced on their Bonamontes map. It's actually in our reality. So I believe that's a condensed map that we've been given. And there's a whole other band of continents that surround the land that's shown on their Bonamonte map. Now, this is where it gets even more interesting, because if we're told that you can find latitude using a sextant, then that means automatically by default, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this one particular fact, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that will then automatically by default then prove that latitude distances increase substantially the further south you go. So I believe what's happening here is that we have this modern day lat and long coordinate system that was made by man, but it's actually inside of the real coordinate system that was made by God, of which you can then check the latitude with a sextant. So if you do like a right angle calculator, and then what we know is, so we don't know the distance between one point to another on the land. That is an assumption. Like, so there's an assumption that each latitude distance between each latitude line is 69 miles. But in reality, that can't actually be true if we're actually getting the elevation of Polaris above the horizon. So like, let's just say we just do some numbers right quick, and we do this assumption that Polaris is no more than 3,000 miles above the north of a flat Earth map. And then we go to wherever it is on Earth, where the inclination or the elevation, I don't know the exact right word, but where Polaris is only 1 degree above the horizon, wherever that is on Earth. And you do that map. So we know 100% that the Polaris is 1 degree over the horizon, and we know that the assumption, we don't know this for a fact, but we're going to just assume in this example that the elevation of Polaris above the middle of Earth is 3,000 miles. Then if you then take the distance from directly up underneath of Polaris to that point of where the observer is, it is a far greater distance than any flat Earth map that anyone has shown on these spaces, or even a globe map. I mean, we do the math. I mean, it's different if you do like an elevation of Polaris.
You can't do that. So then you got to do the geodesic distance for that non-linear, right? So if a radius of 39.59, and then you got a geodesic distance of 62.18, which is the actual spread out distance of 90 degrees of latitude, 69 miles per degree, right? If that's the relationship, then 90 degrees of latitude times 69 miles equals 6,218 miles. That's what he's trying to struggle with, that he's trying to say the max distance for the sun is. I can't listen to this guy much longer. I really hope he stops.
Shows the hidden lands. It shows it has the right number of latitude lines represented. And there's a lot of things that can be done to update that. That's why I'm trying to.
Yeah, I remember you was talking about the latitude lines, like the Gleason didn't have all of them. You were saying that's a concern. I remember you mentioning that.
Yeah, it's a huge concern. That's why it never matches math or reality, and it doesn't match, because when you delete the first inner latitude lines and the outer latitude lines, and then you slightly fudge all the locations for whoever made it, or the collection of people that made it. It throws off, it skews off all of the distances that are going to be calculated on that map moving forward, because so much land and latitude lines were deleted. Therefore, it's just not going to match, no matter how many times someone tries. So when you have
saying the map that you referenced that you like the best, I probably saw it before. You probably should. I just don't know by name. So try to send it to me again, throw it in the purpose so I can see which one you're actually referencing.
Yeah, I'll do that right now.
Yeah, I'm looking through the listeners. They are spamming the thumbs down, brother. But I feel you, bro. And I know you're passionate about maps, so that's why we respect your voice. I just know you're married to like actual positions rather than apparent positions, and that maybe where we have to be a little bit more critical. But we can get into it in a little bit. Let's slide over to Ken and then run Boston, and then we got a few more hands up and we'll rotate some mics. What up, Ken? Happy stationary Saturdays. What you got